Welcome to the Contrarians and to yet another panel discussion. Tonight's topic, great bands getting zero love. It's our top 3 picks. We want to hear from you in the chat. Let's do it. Welcome to the Contrarians, and look at this panel. We've got West Coast Dave, we've got Andrew, we've got Lance. I haven't been on a show with Lance, but look at him and look at his hat. Look at Brandon. He is here tonight. The topic tonight, we have come up with 3 bands that don't get enough love. And really, we just kind of want to turn you on to them. Isn't that the goal with you guys? Bands that need more love. So we've got 3 bands. I think I'm just going to go for the sake of keeping it moving. I think and since we're just doing 3, I'm just going to have you do your 3 and we'll just go around. So I guess I'll go as I see it. We're in no rush tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so don't worry about that. I'm just going to go West Coast Dave, Andrew, Lance, and Brandon, and we'll just go around. So West Coast Dave, take it away.
Wow. Okay. So my first band is going to be Spacemen 3. And this is a band that was formed in 1982 in England. Man, when I was in bands growing up, we used to worship this band when they were out, along with Bauhaus and some other cool kind of underground bands at that time. But anyway, their 2 main members are Peter Kember and Jason Pierce, also known as Sonic Boom and Jay Spaceman. Jay Spaceman went on later to be in a band called Spiritualized that is a lot more commercially successful than Spacemen 3 ever were. And I like that band a lot. I've seen them. I've also seen Sonic Boom a number of times too. So this band has been described as trance-like neo-psychedelia. That's what it said on Wikipedia, and that sounded good to me. I would say it's a combination of the Stooges and the Velvet Underground is a pretty good way to describe what's going on there. So their first album is called Sound of Confusion. And that is from 1986. And the first song on it is called Losing Touch with My Mind. How beautiful is that? This album's very heavy. There's a song called Roller Coaster. This band can make 1 or 2 chords last forever. Not in an AC/DC way, though, in a garage rock band way. They do actually cover the Stooges on this album. They do Little Doll. They have a lot of songs about being on heroin, just to be completely honest about it. There's a song on here called OD Catastrophe. And by the way, I love this band. You know, you can listen to this band when you're completely sober, and it would be just fine. Okay. Here's their next album. This is called The Perfect Prescription from 1987, and some people would claim that this is their masterpiece. It might be pretty close to it. They're really into Vox instruments.
As they should be.
Yeah. Old school kind of style in there, kind of like a 60s vibe, 60s garage rock vibe. This album's more mellow, though. This is kind of like a very languid album most of the time. There's a track called Take Me to the Other Side. They get a little bit spiritual. They do something called Walking with Jesus. That's something that Jason Pierce would kind of expand on, is this relationship between being high and being close to God. There's a song called Ode to Street Hassle, which is Lou Reed has a song of the same name on one of his albums. There's a song called Ecstasy Symphony on here. And if you don't understand what that means, I don't think I can explain it to you, but it's just really, really good. After that, one of the songs on here is called Feel So Good, and all they do is kick back and talk about how they feel so good. Gee, I wonder why they feel so good. Come Down Easy, you don't want that come down to be too rough. So Perfect Prescription, this album's a 10. I mean, if you want to check this band out, it's just a great album. Kind of a lo-fi kind of deal. I think this is their apex right here. This is Playing with Fire. On this one, they got fuzzed out guitars, and sometimes they have just this slashing, nasty razor blade sort of distortion, and that's juxtaposed with sort of tranquil, like blissed out songs, just for like kind of nodding off into oblivion. This is just such an excellent record. I don't think there's a real drummer on this record, but it's still really, really good. Here's what they look like if you just kind of, wanted to catch the vibe of what they're going for. And then this album right here was put out after they broke up, and this is their only one on a major label. Sorry, KCSC in Santa Cruz. Yes, I did take this when my friend was a DJ there. I apologize. I'm sure UC Santa Cruz listeners are okay. Um, this is a really nice album too. This one is a little more up-to-date synthesized sort of sounding, more modern kind of production. So that was their last album. This is a single off that album that I have called Hypnotized and Just to See You Smile. Great stuff. This is a comp album called Taking Drugs to Make Music to Take Drugs To. Sorry, Contrarians, if I'm not supposed to be talking about that kind of stuff. Here's another comp right here. Yeah, just a great, great band, an all-time band. I think if you like the Stooges and the Velvet Underground and kind of hazy psychedelic stuff, you might be into them. And I don't really hear people talk about them too much.
West Coast Dave, they are. What is their relationship with Spiritualized?
The two main guys in Spaceman 3 are Peter Kember and Jason Pierce, and Jason Pierce is the mastermind behind Spiritualized.
Oh wow,
I've got that CD, one of those CDs.
Oh, I saw them open up for Radiohead on OK Computer tour.
Oh, nice double bill.
They were amazing.
I think I saw that too, 2 nights in a row at the Warfield.
Yeah, it's super ambient.
So Dave, you didn't mention the Dark Side.
I didn't. There are other offshoot bands too. Like there's a band called Spectrum that they did. There's one called The Dark Side, and I knew that Grant knew about The Dark Side already. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Spaceman, where it all started though. They're just such a great band.
Dark Side, by the way, I could mention that they really should get more attention as well. They're all related, but if you do like Spaceman 3, I bet you'll like The Dark Side. I just throwing that out there because it's phenomenal.
Okay, killer.
There you go. Keep going.
All right, my second artist's name is Jonathan Wilson. Have you ever heard of him, Grant?
No.
I think you would really, really like him. He's a producer, a songwriter, and musician from LA. Jonathan Wilson.
Okay.
So this is his first album right here. This is called Gentle Spirit from 2011. And this song starts out with the song Gentle Spirit, which is beautiful. By the way, I would say this is sort of a Neil Young, Grateful Dead, kind of that realm of music. Definitely, if you like Neil Young, I think his voice is a little better than Neil Young's, actually. This is an artist, I don't even know how I found out about him. Probably European Rock Magazine somewhere along the way. That's how I find out about a lot of this stuff. But I've seen him a few times. I actually saw him with Roger Waters. He went out with Roger Waters as a stand-in for David Gilmour in 2017. He's also on the album Is This the Life We Really Want? He's a famous producer too. If you look him up, he's got quite a rap sheet of records that he's produced. He works a lot with an artist named Father John Misty. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but anyway, he's kind of like it's like singer-songwriter kind of stuff. So this album is singer-songwriter kind of stuff, but there's definitely killer guitar playing too, and some of the songs get a little edgier. But anyway, side A of this album, there's a song called Gentle Spirit. That's the title track, which is just beautiful. Then the second song on here is called Can We Really Party Today? Can we really party today with all that's going on? And man, you got to hear the song. It is just, it'll make you cry. It makes me cry. Then there's this tune called Desert Raven, and another one called Canyon in the Rain, the Natural Rhapsody, Ballad of the Pines. This is just a gorgeous record. And in fact, when this came out, Uncut Magazine called them the best new artist of the year in 2011. And this was Mojo's number 4 best album of the year. So once again, Europeans knew about American musicians and were celebrating them. And meanwhile, we are just ignoring them.
Dave, real quick, what label is that on?
Oh my gosh. God, you caught me on the spot.
No, that's all right.
Good
I
question.
mean, it's like an independent
It
release or
doesn't
what?
even say. I bought this at a show.
Oh, okay.
He might have just totally put this out on his own. I'm not even sure. He
I'm looking
has
him
so
up.
yeah. So I wasn't going to go through every record. These are just some of my favorites by him. Look at how beautiful the artwork is on this. It
Oh
looks like
my.
a Jodorowsky movie, Holy Mountain. He kind of used that as an inspiration for some of the artwork. This is the
What
back.
year is that from?
This is his 2018 album called Rare Birds.
Okay.
Okay. It's really cool.
Um, and
Um,
it's just beautiful. This is worth buying just for the artwork by
oh,
itself.
I found it. I found it.
Okay.
It's on the label as Bella. Okay, Jonathan Wilson. I'm looking him up on Discogs, boys. He has probably, I'm gonna say, 7 albums out. First
Yeah,
album came out in 2005. Rare Birds is on a label called Bella Union. The album after that, Dixie Blur, came out on BMG, and the last
that's like a
album.
country album,
Okay.
kind of. I don't have that one.
Last album on 2023 came out on BMG. So he must have got signed to the major labels, and there you
Yeah,
go.
this one's called Eat the Worm, and this is his most recent one.
Nice.
Um, we skipped an album though, his second album called Fanfare, which I don't have a copy of. It actually has David Crosby, Graham Nash, Jackson Brown, Mike Campbell, Father John Misty, and Roy Harper. They're all on his second album called Fanfare. So, music insiders and Laurel Canyon people in LA,
Hmm.
they know about this guy and they use this guy as a producer and they want to appear on his albums. And he's just made some really, really beautiful stuff. So this was his most recent album, which I think is really, really good too. And it comes with, he's really into the artwork on some of his stuff. This is the lyric book that comes inside. Look at the artwork on that. And it just says, eat it.
What the hell is happening there?
So eat the worm, I guess, is what he wants you to do. And the words are very poetic. A lot of it has to do with LA. Like if I just flip through here, he's mentioning different streets in LA and freeways and stuff like that. It's very, very psychedelic, kind of poppy. He can be very mellow. He can get a little fuzzed out and blissed out and distorted sometimes. I would just, if you're into that whole Laurel Canyon, LA kind of deal, but updated to more current times, I would definitely suggest checking out Jonathan Wilson. He's a real musician's musician. And kind of the reason now for my third artist, the reason why I kind of thought of this whole idea about bands that don't get enough love is because no one talks about the Smashing Pumpkins. And I love that band. I just absolutely love them. And I don't understand why people dismiss them and don't talk about them anymore, especially because they were so popular. It seems like there's a lot of people on YouTube that they're just like, okay, the 90s came around and then music started sucking. And then, whatever was on the radio is not good anymore. Like that's a popular opinion or something. And I just don't understand that. I don't get it. Because to me, when the 90s came around, all of a sudden rock music that I liked was popular again. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, actually. There's like actually good bands playing rocking music on the radio now. Now, I didn't like them all, but I certainly like Smashing Pumpkins a lot. So usually people call them alternative. I, I think if you called them heavy metal, dream pop, psychedelia, and compare them to Jane's Addiction, that would be kind of fair. When I heard their first album, Gish, which they put out in 1991, I said, it's okay. It sounds a lot like Jane's Addiction, though, because they were probably my favorite band back then. But then over time, I just grew to absolutely love this album. There's a song on here called I Am One that just rips. Their drummer, Jimmy Chamberlain, is easily my favorite drummer of this era,
Yeah.
period. That is one of the main reasons I don't understand why people ignore this band. I mean, he is just a monster. And the things that he can play are absolutely incredible. And the ways that they recorded his drums are incredible. The ways that Billy Corgan recorded his guitars were revolutionary. Butch Vig produced this album with them, and then he went on to do Nevermind. And then Corgan got mad because Butch Vig stole his way of recording guitars and recorded Nevermind. And then Corgan heard that and went, "Hey, I made that up, no fair." And Butch Vig just kind of shrugged and went, "It is what it is. Sorry, Billy."
Yeah. True story.
I think, I'm going to guess, why don't people like this band? Maybe because of Billy Corgan's attitude and his singing sometimes, I think. But, and I don't like his singing as much on the latter albums either, but these first few albums, I thought he sang great. But, that's kind of his thing. He's always been an outsider. He was born with a weird birthmark on his arm and, had a lot of problems growing up and stuff, and just felt like he was picked on and put down and beat on and bullied. And so he's always been this sort of outsider. And he's like kind of a smart ass about it too. In a lot of interviews that he did with the Pumpkins, when the Pumpkins were popular, he would talk a lot of trash and say a lot of stuff that he didn't really mean. And it was kind of insincere and supposed to be ironic. And I think that kind of turned a lot of people off. And he was like, "Oh, I was just kidding." And it's like, well, when I went to see him at Lollapalooza, they were yelling, "Come on, jump, you stupid motherfucker. Jump, jump, yeah, jump." And I saw all these kids starting to jump, and I was like, they're making fun of you. And I thought that was really sad, because I was like, you know what? You guys are a great band, and I'm just here to see you guys rock out. And you guys are like mad and angry with the fans or something. So there's that whole side to them that I don't know what to say about that. I'm just talking about how great the music is. And I don't understand why they get dismissed. But anyway, when this album came out, this was the #1 selling independent album that had ever come out. It's on Caroline. The second song, Siva, that just crushes. It's incredible. Tristessa is another song on here. Snail. These are just pounding songs. And they have really good guitar playing and guitar solos. That is something that was missing through the 90s also, that I was really glad that they had. And so, it further makes me just wonder why people just don't get it anymore. Or nobody ever talks about them or says that they like them. So this is a Siamese Dream. This came out in 1993. This went 4 times platinum. Still, people don't talk about it anymore, it seems like. I don't know why. It got to #10 on the Billboard Hot 100. It starts off with Cherub Rock, which rocks really hard. It's just a definitive drum beat to start that thing. It just blows my mind. Hummer and Rocket. Soma, Geek USA might be my favorite song by them. If you've never heard the song Geek USA and you want to hear some killer drumming, man, that'll just blow your mind. Mayonnaise is another song I really love off here. Silverfuck. The whole album's really, really good. So that was Siamese Dream. And then they put out a B-sides album, but their B-sides are better than everybody else's A-sides. I don't know which way this is supposed to go. That way. There you go. It goes that way.
Obviously.
Yeah. But this 1994 album, it's just B-sides. It made it to #4 on the Billboard Hot 100, and
that's when they were hot, though.
I just thought that was a regular album. I didn't know that was a B-sides album.
Yeah, it's as good as a regular album.
That's Pisces Iscariot? Is that what that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So there's a song on here called Frail and Bedazzled that's as good as anything they've ever put out. And once again, the drums and the guitar playing are just shredding on this. There's a song called Hello Kitty Cat that's got about 50 million fuzzed out guitars all playing at the same time. And it just shreds. A girl named Sandoz is on here. I think that's a cover of an Animal song. I might be wrong about that.
I don't know.
But Sandoz was the person that invented LSD, scientist. There's this other song, Starla. Starla might be, when I first heard the song Starla on here, that is probably what got me into them. I remember when the Fillmore reopened in San Francisco, they played the song Starla, and that was just a beautiful moment. I've seen them many, many times, by the way. But they were definitely best when they were Billy Corgan, James Iha, Darcy Retzky, and Jimmy Chamberlain. Ever since then, it just hasn't really been the same. They need all 4 of the original members, which is why I'm only bringing up the original albums with the original members. But anyway, the song Starla, there's just cascading guitars. It just melts down with all these guitars and these crazy solos. And I was like, at the time, I thought, wow, James Iha has got to be one of my favorite guitarists. And then I saw them and I realized James Iha was doing nothing. Basically, it was all Billy Corgan. And I've seen old videos of Corgan in his teens in his basement playing like Yngwie. And it just like he's a really, really good underrated guitar player. But he's such a jerk that he's come out and actually said he thinks he deserves more credit as a guitar player. So that kind of stuff like turns people off, you know. But he is an insanely talented player. And then, of course, there's this album, which is
That's the
Melancholy
masterpiece as far as I'm concerned.
It's great. I mean, it's very varied. This debuted at #1. It came out in 1995. I remember watching Saturday Night Live and watching him come out with his bald head, and they played Bullet with Butterfly Wings, you know, the whole Rat in the Cage thing. And I was like, wow, these guys are on fire. And then I went to see him a couple weeks later in a basketball gym in San Francisco called Kezar Pavilion. I've got the ticket. It's really cool. It's like this art. I didn't dig it out though. But people were jumping up and down so much on the gym floor. I thought we were all going to crash through the floor. I mean, it's just the energy around that show was just insane. That album is certified diamond. But I believe, you know, that means it went 5 times platinum technically because it was a double, and so they count each one twice. But, you know, hey, it's still diamond according to like, you know, official certification. Tonight is a beautiful song. I remember when I first heard that on the radio, I was really tripped out by it because it kind of didn't sound like them with really sparse drumming, but then it just kind of opened up. I think that song is really beautiful. Some of my other favorites on there are Here Is No Why, Fuck You, and Ode to No One, Muzzle. Those are my some of my favorite songs of all time by them. Poor Selena of the Vast Oceans is really, really good. Through the Eyes of Ruby and XYU. Those are all killer. And just to close out my little Smashing Pumpkin speech, this is live in Chicago, and they play with Cheap Trick on the last 3 songs on this. Baby Loves to Rock, If You Want My Love, and Auf Wiedersehen. Or is that how you say it?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Okay, close enough, right? German.
Good enough.
But like live, they were they insanely good. I mean, they were really, really good when they were on their game live. And it just seems like nobody really brings them up or gives them enough credit. So I thought I would do that today.
Yeah, I think Amor is underrated.
Oh, you mean Adore?
Adore.
Adore has a lot of really good songs on it too. Like I said, like I knew it was a big panel today, and so I didn't want to spend too much time. But Adore has some beautiful songs on it. I think To Sheila is very, very good. And then, you know, their later albums, they come and go with some hits and misses, and they've been up and down and all around. And you go see Billy sing, and he sounds kind of pitchy. But sometimes he doesn't have the best voice live. But you know what? I went to see them not too long ago, and they played Stairway to Heaven, which is ridiculous, right? But they nailed it, man. I had a tear in my eye. I was completely blown away. I was like, man, you guys pulled off Stairway to Heaven? You know, and I think the only reason they did that is because you're not supposed to. And they're that kind of a band.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. They're just that kind of a band. They're, you know, Corgan just does whatever he wants. At this point, they almost have too many records, you know, too many songs, and there's just so much out there. I mean, that guy is just a writing machine.
Dave, I would do a Smashing Pumpkin series on my channel.
That'd be, hey, man.
If you're interested.
I would be more than happy to jump in on that.
I love the Pumpkins. I love them.
Nice.
See, I have a hypothesis on why people don't talk about them. And it's the same thing that happened, I think, with a lot of bands that got really popular during that time, that Smashing Pumpkins were not like those other like 90s bands. They weren't like, you know, they weren't like Stone Temple Pilots. They weren't like Pearl Jam, but they get thrown in. Same, like REM, the same thing. REM is not like those bands, but they get thrown in with that 90s, like in your face, Gen X kid in a flannel, like that kind of Woodstock 99 type of deal. And I don't know who is to blame on that because you had a lot of diverse bands, and I don't know if you blame the bands themselves.
No.
Like, I don't know if like did they start like aligning themselves too much with Courtney Love and Smashing or Stone Temple Pilots and things like that, that people started lumping them in with that, or was it just the music press was so limited that they just called everything grunge or alternative, no matter what it was?
I
And
think a lot of it is that whole genre thing, and people just say like, "Oh, where you're in this genre over here, and I don't like that genre," and they don't have like an open enough mind to just take each band individually and like, what do
yeah,
you think
but I
about
would
it?
say even
Yeah.
like musical genre-wise, Smashing Pumpkins is nothing like Stone Temple Pilots. They're like two
Mm-mm.
very like I would if you didn't have things separated by decade, you'd put Smashing Pumpkins in with like rock bands in the 70s and
I
and not
agreed 100%.
not
Yep.
like grunge bands in the
I
90s.
don't.
But so
I
yeah.
don't wouldn't even know where to classify them because they do all kinds of different styles of music. So I don't to put them just like in that alternative grunge thing
Yeah.
is not fair at all.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
I
I
is,
don't
will.
think so.
everyone, yeah, from REM to Rage Against the Machine were occupying the same genre during that time, and it's just the music media was so limited in as to what they were describing. And it's
Yeah.
yeah,
I
All
think
right.
their biggest song though is so much different than a lot of their other stuff. Billy hates that song. Is it Bullet with Butterfly Wings? And
yeah.
he always says the label made him do that song, and he wouldn't have done it
Well,
that
that
way.
song is
And that
fantastic.
yeah, and I
I
love it,
like
but
it.
it does kind of sound like STP, at least riff wise. Not the whole thing, but I could see
I
how it
don't
got
think
thrown in there
ST
with Nirvana.
I don't think STP ever played anything that heavy.
No, I
Yeah, Wicked Garden.
Hmm. I don't know. Bullet with butterfly wings just tears your face right off.
Man, they have a
So
song called "Tales from Scorched Earth" on Melancholy. That is just, I mean, it's heavier than heavy. You know what I mean? And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to make the absolute most heaviest thing that he possibly could, and then that's why it's called Tales from the Scorched Earth. And I mean, it's just nasty, but. That is another thing to me why it's just weird that they're ignored by people that like heavy metal music because a lot of their music is just kind of straight up heavy metal with guitar solos. Another thing, the only other thing I want to say about the 90s is what turned some people off and what turned some people on at the time is 90s rock music. A lot of it was about being dissatisfied with life or the world, and music was about partying and having a good time and about the whole LA Sunset Strip thing. And I don't think people liked that all of a sudden there were bands coming out that were talking about how difficult life was, how dissatisfied they were, how angry they were. And people went, where did all the fun go? You know?
except Pink Floyd was singing about unhappy things in the 70s, and I mean there was
Great
that
point.
room.
Yeah.
I do think those that 90s thing, and this is my limitation with it. Every time I think of 90s music, I think of some really privileged kid in a designer flannel shirt, sweating at Woodstock 99 that he paid $1,000 to get to. Like that's all I can think of, and talking about like, oh, I'm very upset while I'm doing that, and that's
But they're
Yeah.
not
I don't
upset.
no, and I don't think that when I'm listening to like Roger Waters basically approach the same themes. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just the in your face aspect of the that time period or something. And I think unfortunately Smashing Pumpkins gets lumped in with that. But I think they were way more complex than those other bands. And their lyrics were way more complex. And I
Yeah.
and I can appreciate that he doesn't like Bullet with Butterfly Wings because the lyrics are just asinine. I mean, it's just like I'm angry and I don't know why. And it's kind of like but their lyrics, they had way more complex lyrics than that. And so yeah,
All right.
I think it is a shame that they get thrown in with that.
All right, cool. We'll keep it moving. Sorry. This could have been a whole Smashing
Yeah.
Pumpkins show, everybody. Who knew? Anyway,
That's what I
all
was
right.
saying at the beginning. I was going to try to limit it.
That's all right. We're good. All right, Andrew, you're up. What's your three?
All right, so
Two. You two.
I took a slightly different take. And my thing and my hidden agenda for appearing on this one was bands that get no love on the Contrarians.
Oh, well, there's
Oftentimes
a
they
lot of those.
Oh, I know. And there's some bands that we should talk about quite a bit that we don't talk about very much. And occasionally we need a break from Van Halen and GNR. And and so, I these bands, every band that I'm bringing up has at least one multi-platinum album. So I mean, kind of in the same vein as Smashing Pumpkins. But I will segue from the spiritualized conversation to talking about the band that spiritualized opened up for, and that, of course, is Radiohead. Radiohead absolutely needs to get more love from the actual rock audience. They are not an alternative band; they are a prog band, and they're just an updated version of prog. Johnny Greenwood is an amazing musician. Johnny Greenwood's latest thing, he just scored the new
Paul Thomas
Paul
Anderson.
Thomas Anderson. Yeah. I mean, his scoring is great. He's an incredible musician. The lyrics are amazing. And this is the thing, their albums as they record them, and they haven't had an album now, and God, it's been like 10 years since Moonshaped Pool, but
Jesus,
they
really?
keep getting a bit weirder, but even more complex and I almost think better. I mean, I love OK Computer, I love Kid A. I love those things, but I just think that they are sadly not appreciated by the same fans of early Genesis and Gentle Giant that they should be. And they absolutely should be appreciated by those fans, because the same type of complexity, musical complexity, lyrical complexity is in there. And yeah, so for everyone watching Contrarians that doesn't normally listen to Radiohead, go get Kid A. Just listen to Kid A, and you have to listen to it like at least 8 times to really appreciate it.
I
But
wouldn't
listen
start with Kid A.
Kid A is, if
I
you're
would start with the Bends, or I would start with OK Computer. Kid A is a little bit too out there for someone who's a novice.
Yeah, if you never heard them before, I'm not too sure about that one.
All right, maybe OK Computer. Start with OK Computer.
I think OK Computer, if we're talking Radiohead,
Yeah.
I think that is their perfect record.
Actually, In Rainbows is really good too.
Yeah,
And
but the thing with OK
Love it.
Computer is that it's the perfect balance between avant-garde. When I listen to later Radiohead, that is avant-garde. That isn't progressive. That's so progressive, it's beyond progressive.
Yeah.
It's just like almost, here's a noise or something.
Yeah.
OK Computer is the perfect blending of what the Bends and Kid A. You've got melodies, you've got
I agree.
good song structures. I mean, yeah, it's experimental, but then there's enough there that you can grab a hold of it and go, wow, this is what a great melody, what a great guitar part.
Yeah.
Because OK Computer is a perfect record. Perfect.
It is a great. It's Dark Side of the Moon level perfect.
I remember when
I would say this is what I said on a show that I just did with Anthony Ferraro that's going to air tonight in the Warehouse at 9:00. I called OK Computer the Sgt. Pepper of the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when the Bends was out, and I was loving that album. I was just like, whatever this band does next is going to be huge, because the Bends was so good at the time, and I just loved that album so much. And then boom, it just exploded.
And you weren't
Bends is a great
expecting
record.
it, because the album before, Pablo Honey with Creep and stuff, was just kind of like, this is just like 90s stuff. It's fine. And then the Bends comes out, and it's like, wow, this is like Achtung baby good. And yeah, so yeah.
Radiohead's a good one. I just got to start out right though. You don't want to start out too late in their career. You'll just sit there and go, what the hell is this?
What am I listening to?
It like
Where's the
8
guitar?
times. It's almost, it's like, all right. My next band is more classic, but I don't think it gets enough love, and they never get enough love for their kind of contributions to music or what they inspired. And sometimes they get lumped in just because of one early 80s hit. And that's going to be the Alan Parsons Project, which I think definitely deserves more like airspace on the Contrarians. Yeah. Oh, iRobot. Yep. This one's actually my favorite turn of a friendly card, which has the monster hit games people play on it, but it's a concept album all about gambling. It's a great album. Um, I think the things Alan Parsons Project had going for them is there's just too many people involved in this band. But if you just go with like, okay, obviously Alan Parsons, but Eric Wolfson and Lanny Zaratek, there's, that's your core there. And they, again, they need more, I don't know, something, more love. Yes. Grant, you look like you have something to say.
No, I was just going to say this comes out. This isn't out yet, but the Alan Parsons I Robot box set comes out, I think, on the 17th.
Is that vinyl?
It does have vinyl in it. 245 RPM, 180 gram slabs of vinyl in this baby, and it's 4 CD set.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that's their best album? Would that be like the gateway
I
album?
do.
I don't know much about them. What do you think, Andrew?
I like it. I tend to like them when they get a little bit closer to the 80s. Turn of the Friendly card is my favorite. I mean, I like Eye in the Sky, and stuff like that. They're all good. I mean, Alan Parsons doesn't put out anything that's not really good. So,
I mean, this was the breakthrough record. This had a lot of hits.
yeah, it had I Wouldn't Want to Be Like You and all of that on there. I mean, it's good. I mean, the first one's good too. The Edgar Allan Poe one. Yeah, they're all good. Pyramid's great. Eve is great.
They're all good.
Yeah. All right, and my last one, and this is going to surprise people who have seen me here before. My last one is a band that absolutely needs to be on the Contrarians more, and I will say that Grant and I just did a full show dedicated to this band, which hopefully we'll see soon. And that, of course, is U2, which U2 gets. You want to talk about the Smashing Pumpkins getting no love? U2 gets unfairly criticized because people get mad at Bono for whatever reason. I don't know why people get so mad at Bono. I guess just wanting to save the world is a bad thing. But in any case, he is an amazing lyricist. The Edge is the Edge. This is the thing that bothers me. The Edge never gets included in lists of greatest guitarists, and he absolutely should be. Is he like Steve Vai? No. He's not like a technical guy, but the guy is an artist at sculpting sound with both the guitar and effects. And if you don't believe me, listen without prejudice to Unforgettable Fire and listen to what the Edge does with his guitar on that album, and just like really like listen to it in headphones, listen to all the subtleties. His guitar the entire time, it goes between sounding like the sparks of a fire to sounding like an all-consuming inferno. And there's one part of the title track, the song Unforgettable Fire, where the Edge actually makes his guitar sound like wood that is smoldering, and I can't explain it, but it's right after Bono says, "Don't push me too far." Right at the end of that song, everyone check it out. Listen to it in headphones, turn it way up, and Edge makes his guitar sound like smoldering wood. And I'm glad that as the Contrarians, we have finally done a U2 episode.
It's up next.
All right, hopefully more to come. This is going to be kind of the U2 station.
And I just want to mention, go to Rattle and Hum and play Helter Skelter. And listen to the Edge.
Yeah. I used to think I was at that show, but no, it was recorded in Denver. I saw that tour in Atlanta, but it was the day that it was the anniversary of John Lennon's death when I saw them, and they played all sorts of Beatles songs. Of course, Helter Skelter's not a John Lennon song, but I was like, oh, that must be the show I was in. I even thought I saw my arm, but no, it wasn't me. I was in Denver.
Damn, that would be cool though if it was you.
Yeah, I know, because then I would say, yeah, I was in Rattle and Hum.
All right, cool. I knew U2 was going to make an appearance. I just knew it.
Every time I'm on the show, I throw U2 in there somewhere.
But when Joshua Tree came out, that was the biggest thing ever, for sure. I just happened to be touring through Europe when Joshua Tree came out, and you couldn't go anywhere without seeing a YouTube poster slapped on the wall somewhere.
Hmm.
And for good, it is an amazing album. That trio of albums, the Eno Lanois trilogy, the Unforgettable Fire, Joshua Tree, Achtung Baby, those three albums are the greatest three album run I would say in the history of music. I mean, so yeah. So.
No, I would say Rubber Soul, Revolver, and Pepper. Come on.
I'm just going to
get your
keep my mouth shut still.
Get your priorities straight.
I'm sure that there's comments happening right now that are very
Hell, Drums and
disparaging.
Wires, Black Sea, and
Yeah.
English Settlement.
Equinox, Crystal Ball, and Grand Illusion.
Damn straight.
Permanent Waves, Moving Picture Signals.
Damn
I mean,
straight.
we could do this all day. Yeah, wish
right,
you were
let's-
here. Animals, the Wall.
All right,
I mean,
so-
yeah.
All right, we're going to keep it moving because Lance is going, these guys are out of their minds. All right, Lance, dazzle us. What are your three?
All right. Oh yeah, real quick, I want to say if you've never seen Billy Corgan's interviews on YouTube, he does great interviews,
Yeah.
just all types of different musicians.
I think John 5 got dropped today.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see that, but I'll probably check it out. So my first band here, the name is A Great Big Pile of Leaves. It's a bit of a mouthful. It's one of my favorite bands. I've been a fan of them, I think, since like 2013. You could describe them as indie rock, Midwest emo, jangle, math pop, math rock. It's kind of hard to describe, and most of the bands in those categories I don't always love. When you think indie rock, you probably have a certain sound in your head right now, but it is really one of a kind, so it's hard to describe. They're a three-piece. They're from Brooklyn. My favorite things about the music are just the drumming and super melodic guitar playing. I wouldn't quite call it like math rock or say it's like riff salad music, but it does have riffs galore. The guitar tone is amazing. That's from the singer as well. His name's Pete Whalen, so he's playing lead guitar and vocals. And then if they tour, when they do, they have another guitarist as well, but it is a three-piece. As far as like the time period on this band, they have two EPs from 2007 and 2008, and then they have studio albums from 2010, 2013, and they went all the way till 2021. So they just have three studio albums. That was a big deal for me when that last album dropped called Pono, just because it was so many years. I was like 16 or 17 when the last one came out. So, so much changes in your life in 8 years when that next album comes out. The sound of this band, you really just got to check it out. I would say go to their 2013 album. They don't do long songs. The songwriting is really amazing throughout. They only have about 45 songs probably total as a band. They don't have any misses. I would say all their albums are 9s or 10 out of 10. The older stuff is a little more, I would say, is that kind of Midwest emo, something like American Football, if you're familiar with that. But by the time you get to any of their studio albums, it really is just like good forward rock music. And it's not like sad sounding when you think of a lot of indie music or that it's not like mall emo either. I know people say emo music and they think like My Chemical Romance. It's nothing like that. It's that happier sounding sort of melancholy emo music. They were on Top Shelf Records, if you guys are familiar with that. There's a lot of good bands on Top Shelf Records, but they're not anymore. And they probably have only done about 150 shows total. These guys work normal jobs and they have jobs in the music industry. But if someone pays them decent, they'll do a show like easily. They will fly out anywhere and do it. So it's a great big pile of leaves. Check them out. They have songs on Spotify and YouTube with 4 million, 5 million, 3 million. So they're not totally unknown, but I have never seen them mentioned once on YouTube by anybody. So
Me neither. Where are they from, Lance?
they're from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And yeah, I think the band kind of realized the name actually isn't super easy to market. It is kind of memorable, but it's kind of hard to say. Me and my friends, we always just call them the Leaves. growing up, we never would even say the whole name. And I've met all the guys from the band. They're really cool. I met them about 10 years ago.
Cool.
Do they sound
So,
anything like Modest Mouse?
yeah, the guitar tones do, and I would say he even sings a lot like, was Isaac Brock, is that his name?
I think so.
Um, yeah, he does kind of sing like that. The music is definitely happier, and the lyrics aren't as like introspective. Like a lot of the lyrics are like metaphors of being a kid. It just talks about like the song, it'll be really happy. It's called Great Fun, but the great fun is going to the dentist and getting insurance. It has a song called Pizzanomics where the whole idea is you'd rather eat pizza all day long than get a job and grow up. And it sounds very juvenile, but the music's like super complex in the drumming, so the contrast is really what does it for me. So
Cool.
yeah, a great big pile of
Excellent.
leaves.
Excellent.
My second one, totally different here. This is a tech death metal band, or progressive metal. I would call them technical death metal, though, and just kind of leave it at that. They fit pretty neatly in that category. It's the Zenith Passage, and they're from LA. They have just two albums from 2016 and then 2023, but they did start with the EP back in 2013, so they've been around for over a decade now. In that scene, I would say they're relatively known, but their two biggest songs, they don't really sell albums. It's definitely like a streaming band. Have just around like a million on YouTube, but for that, or I mean Spotify or YouTube, but that's not too bad for that genre. A lot of ear candy in their music. It's not super atonal when you think of death metal music. It really does move around. It's pretty melodic. The songwriting is really awesome. They really don't have long songs either, this band. They have a couple that are maybe over like 5 minutes, but um, it really does stay in the more classic death metal style in that regards. It is really complex though. Like in one song, like that's like 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, they got about 20, 25 awesome different riffs in there. The drumming again is amazing. If I really get into a band, usually it has to have really good drumming. I don't know the drummer's name off the top of my head. The other lyrics are they kind of sound like a mouthful. It's just you're like, are they just trying to cram as many big words as possible into this? Um, some of the song titles are Algorithmic Salvation and Lexicontagion, which is just one long word. I don't even know if that's a real word. Their most simple song title I could find is Deletion Cult, which still, I mean, I don't think there's another song out there called that. All of the lyrics, though, they kind of have this theme of like technology merging with man, a little bit of like religious theming in there, but it's a little different than you typically get in death metal. I find it really interesting, but also kind of off the wall, and I can't always pick it apart at the same time. So it does get me going back to it over and over. The most catchy songs they have, I've heard them 30, 40 times, and I still go back to them because there's just so much to pick out. Their last album in 2023, that would be the one I'd recommend to check out. It's called Data Elysium. Data and then Elysium, just like it sounds. Um, every song on that album is perfect. I mean, I love the production on it too. It's it has that modern metal production, which I'm more of like a 80s and even like a 90s sort of guy, but it is really good. It's probably the best produced metal album that I've heard that's come out in the last like 10 or 15 years. And
Yeah, they're
again,
killer. They're awesome.
okay, yeah. So you
Yeah.
you know them. It probably makes a little more sense what I'm saying. Hopefully, I'm like describing it well because it's just something you got to hear.
Do they
Yeah,
have
the vocals I
growl
understand.
vocals? Growl vocals?
Yes, yeah, totally.
Mm,
But you
Like
can
death metal.
you can tell like
I'm
what
out,
he's
kids.
saying. You'd be surprised though. You can tell what he's saying more than a lot of those guys. But yeah, I don't think Grant would like it at all.
Not my thing. Prog metal, not my thing either. No, no,
The
no.
instrumentation's excellent though. Like
Ugh,
just
I couldn't sit
amazing.
through it. Like I'll listen to it. I'll give it a shot.
I'll tell you, I never was
Have
big into
you-
that stuff, and this band has got me into it.
If Lance says it's worth listening to, I will listen to it and see if
Grant, there's some good
you never know.
gateways to death growls like that can listen to Still Life by Opeth. It's a great gateway drug into more death growls. It's
I
I mean
like-
it's a prog album with death growls.
That's
but
the
their
new
death
one.
growls are
Is that
just
the new one?
sparingly- No. That's an early one.
I like the one,
It's-
the Opeth album where their heads are like in a tree and there's no growls.
Yeah, but there's no death growls on that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's yeah, but
That's
Still Life.
Heretic.
Still Life is a really good album. So Ghost Reveries too. I'd listen to both of those. They're good gateway drugs for death growls.
I did Blood Incantation. That's my death growl band. That and Opeth.
I think you'd like the Zenith Passage then. All right. And then the last one here, some similarities in the fact that this band uses odd time signatures, but they're not metal. They don't really have vocals at all. They have a few songs with vocals on it, but they're called Chon, Chon. This band is, I think they're kind of defunct now as of maybe a year ago. They officially announced their breakup, but they're made up of three brothers. They're from, I think it's Oceanside, California. And they have 3 albums. They have 1 EP. They started back in 2013. They're on Sumerian Records, which is like a pretty big label. And I think really what happened in this band is they signed a bad deal from what I can find. There's not a ton of information, but I think even their dad was their manager of the 3 brothers. The stories, it's kind of frustrating, but it's been 6 years now since they've had an album. And I think they got turned off of the music industry, and I don't know the specifics of that deal they're in, but it sounds like they basically retired for a while. So I don't know if they're waiting time limit on their contract, if there's a certain amount of albums. I'm glad they didn't just put out something bad. As far as the music though, I mean, it's amazing time signatures all over the place, 3-4 minute songs, lots of ear candy riff. I call it math rock. Riff salad. This band kind of got me into that sort of stuff. I used to always think, instrumentals, they can't really be full songs. Can they really tell a story? I had known some like Satriani, stuff like that from, a long time ago, but this band really introduced me to that stuff. And they used to have a band like Polyphia open for them, which Polyphia is huge now. I don't think they wanted to go as poppy as they did eventually, but if you look at John's 2017 album, it's called Homie. I mean, they have trap influences on there. They have, if you guys are familiar with glitch hop, it's just, like glitchy hip hop type beats mixed with a lot of just amazing guitar work and really good drumming too. So it's a band. If you like good guitar work or good drumming, I would recommend at least playing 2, 3, 4 songs. See if you can get into it. Check out Story, Splash, Book, or Nehu. All of their song titles are easy to remember. They're usually just one word like that. And this is Chan, and they're pretty amazing.
What's their, if there's an album, what album would you recommend?
I would say Grow from 2015. That album was super influential on this kind of music. It's not like it's not known.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I think, again, that deal shot this band in the foot. They're still sitting at 300,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. They have quite a dedicated like fan base, and everyone's just bummed out about what's happened. And the main guy, Eric, he said he was going to release some solo work. I haven't seen it come out, or maybe I didn't look in the right spot. So
I just looked them up on just for giggles on Discogs, and just that album Grow. Now I'm just looking at the CD. There's a lot of different LP pressings, so you probably have a better chance getting that. But their CDs, the used CDs that are up here, aren't cheap.
no, I wouldn't
They
think
must
so.
be rare. It just must be really hard to come by.
Wow, okay.
But it's not cheap if you want physical media. I'm just saying.
They
How
got a
many albums do
cult-like
they have?
following.
Three albums. And then they have they have some singles and EPs too that came out in 2014. But very small catalog. And last thing, came out in 2019. Nothing since. So there you go. Check them out.
Cool choices, Lance.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Try to vary it up. And I almost went with something a little more popular. Like I even thought about going something Weezer or 38
No,
Special.
I like
Eddie Money, but I was like, I'm just gonna pick 3 new ones.
now their 2019 album. There's one in here for like $7, but something. And actually, Laser CD has a brand new one. So Ken Golden, you go over to Ken's store. He's got one. It must still be in print if Ken's got it. So, and if Ken sells it, it must be pretty damn good. That's what I'm going to say. So
I think you'd like it, Grant.
all right, I'll support Ken. I'll get one from Ken. So, but that would be the 2019 record. The other one just seems like it's gone. Can't get it. Anyway, good picks. I'll put it in my cart. Well, I'll just talk to Ken and say, hey, he might be sending me something else anyway. Anyway, Brandon, all right, let's go. What's your 3?
All right. This is kind of awkward because my first pick is actually U2. So
no way.
I have U2, Smashing Pumpkins, and Weezer. So this is really awkward. No, I got.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. It's not. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Wouldn't that be funny
all
though,
ready
if
to
it
talk
was?
about how great of a guitar god he is.
He's just a god.
Yeah.
That would
all
be
right.
funny.
All right. This first band, my friend got me into them. And he was telling me when he was like, living in New York, his uncle would play this band CD and he would hear the music and he's like, he assumed this band was on level with like Journey, Boston. I heard it and was blown away. Good Rats, Tasty. Not sure if any of you are familiar, but this thing just absolutely rips. Some like prog rock, jazz stuff. The singer has this like really awesome raspy voice. And this record, it's like so consistently good. And it has like a sprinkle of like, arena rock in there as well. It's just such a great balance. The soloing is absolutely incredible. As someone who's like more of a metal guy, it's like an album that no matter what mood I'm in, if I put this on, it's just, I was having a great time. Just such a solid record. The band has a really solid discography, but I'd say Tasty is their best record by far. It's so sad, man, because on Spotify alone, this band has like, I think it's like 300 monthly listeners or some stupid number like that. If they were to do a show today, like I bet they wouldn't even be able to like fill a club. And it's just so tragic that there's bands like this that are around that just like are so talented, such great songwriters, but no one really knows their music at all. It's just like such a shame. If this band got the exposure they should have gotten, like people would be obsessed with it. This could have been like a household name, I think. I don't know. It's just one of those. Oh, geez.
That's what,
I wasn't
73,
alive.
74 or something?
74, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't alive when it came out, but
We did I've got a show called Little Known Bands That You Should Know, and we had them as one of the bands.
thank you. At least someone's talking about them. They're just one of those bands you just want to like chain smoke a pack of cigarettes to, drink liquor out of the bag. I don't know. It's just one of those bands. I'm not sure if that's resonating with any of you, but I don't know. Just such a great band. Such a great New York band. All right, this next one, I gotta be careful showing the cover here.
Oh no, I just have a feeling I know what it is. No, maybe I don't.
Mephistopheles. This is an album called I'm Heroin. There's been a bit of heroin talk tonight, but here's some more of it. This is their album from, I have it right here, 2017. This is a newer band. It's a stoner doom metal band that started in like 2013, 2010-ish. I say they're on par with Electric Wizard. I say, they're better than band. And I don't want to get controversial here, but I'd put them above Windhand, Uncle Acid, and the Deadbeats. I think they're like one of the best stoner doom metal bands ever to exist. Their riffage is just incredible. Like they have that Sabbath structure where you got like this really doomy riff and then it goes into like a really awesome, fun groove that I just love. I love it on Sabbath, and it's really cool to hear it coming from like stoner doom metal and like practically almost to that standard Sabbath has when it comes to like their riffage and everything. So Mephistopheles, really great. I think they're doing like their first UK tour right now. It's like fucking finally. They have 4 records. Their new one, Violent Theater, came out in 2022. Their first album is really great too. It's called Whore. Some of these titles might turn a lot of people off.
No, it's Whore.
But they're great, man. They're They're really, really awesome stuff. They're on Helter Skelter Productions. Now, I was going to talk about Vandergraaf Generator because I love them. I've been listening to them, but I feel like there's been a lot of more mainstream bands being talked about. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to talk about King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I don't care. I feel like this band is like really embraced by a younger audience and like drug addicts. And that's about it. And I feel like that's it.
Other. No middle ground.
Yeah, there really isn't.
Druggies.
Or, one of the
like
section's dads, or something. I don't know. It's really unfortunate that it seems like the prog community hasn't really embraced this band or like isn't even paying attention to them. I think they have some of the best modern prog rock I've ever heard. They started in 2012, I believe. They have 27 records. And it's incredible.
Brandon, I was just going to say, I think that's what makes it kind of hard. Like for somebody like me who might like them, I don't know where to start. And it seems like they keep putting out so many albums all the time.
And they keep changing their style.
That's what I heard.
And
like
it's
chameleons.
It's hard for me as a fan to recommend it to you because it's like there's a level where you just have to be like this certain level of autistic where you just have to just listen to all of the records and just fully embrace this band. Like it is, I remember when I was into them, I'm like, all right, an album a day. I'm just going to go up the discography because it's very like, garage rock, garage psych. You get a little like Dead Kennedys in there too. And then their like second record is like this like spoken word storybook country album. And it's like, what the hell is this band doing? And then they go into like, they embrace this like psychedelic, like this neo psych, this like modern psych. And it's incredible. It's like, it's so fresh. It's so new. They started a whole movement. We have Frankie and the Witchfingers and other neo psych bands that are like in this band shadow. And they're really, I think, in like 50-ish, and like when we're looking back at this band, when they've pretty much finished their career, people are going to really hold this band like high as one of the greats. Polygona Wonderland, I believe, is one of the albums. Is incredible. There's so many names. They had one that came out recently called B741. It was the second to last release. Their most recent release is Phantom Island, which is this like orchestra prog record, and the one before it is just something. It's like if the Allman Brothers made a record today, and you think it'd be like it has to be quantity over quality, right? B741, I spin it all the time. It's crazy to me that these records still hold up. And it's not like, all right, whatever, on to the next one. Who cares? Like these records will stand the test of time. They have a thrash metal record. And as someone as like thrash metal's like my favorite genre, they're doing shit that I wish bands like Testament, Exodus, Metallica were taking notes on. And I'm talking about their production. And it's just like they have this like really raw, dirty production, but it has this like really clean element to it where it's not like terrible to listen to. They put out a metal prog record recently called Petronic Apocalypse Dawn of the Eternal Nightmare. I'm really sounding like a nerd here, but just excellent stuff, like prog metal. And it's something where I'm like, all right, let's see. I enjoyed your EDM record before, but let's see how you can do prog as your follow-up. And it's just like, where do these guys, like, where are they coming up with this? It's like crazy because Stu McKenzie is kind of the Robert Fripp of this band, as you will. Like it really just centers around him, and he is just so obsessed with making music, and he is always doing it. And that's the thing now with like music, you don't have to rent out studio time. You can bring your laptop on tour and just be making music on the road, and that's what this band is doing. They're constantly writing. And it just really goes to show that, like, I feel like an issue a lot of bands have of past is that they'll write, they'll get the creative juices flowing, and then they'll just cut them off and then go on tour. And then they'll be like, all right, we got to remember how do we make music again? What's our band sound like? Where this band is just constantly hitting the anvil. And I think that's why they're able to have such an amazing streak, because they're constantly writing and being creative, and they're not just like shutting themselves off creatively after every record. Oh, it's been 7 years, I guess we got to pump out another album. Where it's like, no, this band is like really putting out some good stuff. And lastly, I want to say one of the greatest live bands I've ever seen. I actually have a box set by them right here. This is their performance at Red Rock. It's a 12 LP set.
Wow. Damn.
Great. Like, they'll infuse songs, they'll jam, and it's some of the best jamming. And I wasn't into like Grateful Dead really, or that jam like element of bands, but like they do it so well. And like, I have a few friends who are Deadheads and they're into Gizzard now, and they're like, yeah, man, I finally see what you mean. And they're taking like their metal songs and they're jamming it, but like with acoustic and with like more less fuzz, and like turning them into like more rock songs. And that's what's so cool about all their different sounds, is when they jam it, they can really blend the genres and be like, oh, this is a metal song we wrote. Let's do it in like a folk sense. And they'll do it, and it's fantastic. And it's just such an amazing band. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. There's another band name that maybe is a reason why more people aren't into them. But yeah, I think their biggest problem is that they have too many records. But at the same time, I feel like their biggest strength is that they have so many albums. But that's my third pick.
That's a good pick. Marco recommended them to me, and he said if I was going to turn someone on to King Gizzard, he would start him out with the Paper Mache Dream Balloon album.
That's a pretty good one. I think they have like this trilogy of records that's like known as like the starting. And I would say that's Nonagon Infinity. Nonagon Infinity is like I'd say like, if there's the one that embraces their sound the most, it's like their fifth record. Okay. It is like their most commercial album. It's like purely their sound. Then I would go Mind Fuzz. I'm in Your Mind Fuzz, which is like kind of just carries that over, but with more of like a soft, like a surf rock edge to it. And then the third one, which is kind of like, finishes the trilogy, is Murder of the Universe, which is their like prog epic spoken word concept. Now, King Gizzard are really cool because they have something called like a concept discography, where every album falls into this like one universe. Like there's callbacks and lyrics to every record. It's like one giant. They've built this universe, and every album fits in a pocket of it. It's really crazy. I've never seen a band really do that, where instead of doing a concept album, it's like every single song is connected like that. It's just really cool.
The damn King Gizzard page on Discogs won't come up.
So their number one song on Apple Music is Gila Monster.
Yeah, that's from, and you know what's crazy about that song? That's from their 17th record.
Yeah,
what band
like
could
just
say
a couple
that?
Years old. Yeah,
Hey,
Brandon, what was the first album that you started with?
I'd say Nonagon Infinity,
okay,
Mind Fuzz,
now it's working.
And Murder of the Universe. And they came out in like that. I think they came out in that order, but that's like the holy trilogy. It like Murder of the Universe is the end of the whole concept, which is crazy that like they're writing this concept discography out of order. It's just the most like nerdy fucking thing I think I've ever been into. But
yeah, I've only got the Paper Mache one.
Show. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 3 shows. Yeah.
Okay.
I was at all 3 of them.
One thing I know about this band is that they play microtonal guitars. I don't know if they play them all the time, but so if you take a guitar and you put a fret in between every other fret,
my God, how could you even keep track of that?
They have 3 microtonal records. They have the microtonal Flying Banana, and then they have their album KG and LW, which are all they're all microtonal, and it's like.
But what does it sound like?
It sounds excellent. It's like microtonal rock. and there's like some
I know what
sludge element to it.
I just can't imagine what it would sound like.
Yeah, I don't really know how to describe microtonal music any more than that. It's more just like
I'm into it. I dig it. I'd like to hear it.
It's cool though, and like they play along with like other genres in that microtonal space. Like they'll literally play with microtonal guitars and like put fuzz pedals on top of it.
Yeah,
their song KGLW is like literally something Melvins could have written. It's just incredible, and it's with microtonal guitars too. It's like who's doing that? Who's writing like sludge metal with microtonal instruments?
I'm looking at their website, and what's his name's playing one of those 1960s Yamaha electrics that are kind of cool.
I think, like, honestly, if anyone's interested in getting into any of their music, just and you want to dedicate yourself, just listen to them in order, like, truly.
Okay.
They took their stuff
Fair
off
enough.
of Spotify a couple months ago.
They did.
Yeah. But it's
now I have to buy, I have to spend a lot of money now, unfortunately, but.
And it looks like they supply bootlegs on their website you can download. Is that true? It says bootlegger.
Yeah. What's really sick about them is that every live show they do, they put out like the masterings of them, and they let any label just take them and press them.
Wow.
Yeah.
No shit. That's cool. Soundboards.
Just really cool.
Stems and soundboards are available here. Look at that. Oh my, look at all those shows.
It's like one of those things where it's like, I wish other bands took notes of this. It's like, and it encourages people. It's like, if you give a shit about the fans and you like give them a lot to listen to, they're going to be more into the band and give you more money. Like I literally saw them in Boston, New Hampshire, New York. Then I flew to Colorado to see them at Red Rocks. I don't think there's any band I've ever done that to. And I see like mostly metal, and it's like, I'm like, do I have to like grow dreads or something and like smoke more weed? It's like, what am I turning into?
That could be your next look. I'm just saying.
I think so. Yeah. I can get like one of those beanies and everything.
I would do
drug rug.
Look up Rastafarian. Why not?
Are there cute hairy girls doing this kind of stuff at the show?
Yeah. It's so funny because it's like,
pets.
I go to one of the shows and you see like a girl wearing like, a fish shirt, and then next to her is someone with like corpse paint wearing like a Merciful Fate shirt. It's like, what the fuck show am I at? Like you got a Fish fan next to like a Merciful Fate fan. I'm like, what audience is this? But it's like, I think it's impressive. I really do think it's an impressive band.
Well, I definitely would recommend someone to go check out the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard website, because there's a lot there to offer, especially if you want to get a taste of the band. But yeah, I can see if they offer this stuff, you do feel like you want to support the band somewhat. I mean, I would,
I think it's really cool if they took their stuff off Spotify. I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Because that should be the way that you buy music now, is you go to the band and you buy the music from the band, and that's it.
Yep.
That's how you get their music. There's no record company, but you have to build up a following first,
And they put a lot of effort into their vinyl too. Like just amazing sounding pressings, and like the quality of the sleeves and inner sleeves are just great. And a lot of like extra stuff they throw into, just great stuff.
You want to get them all, right?
Yeah.
And it's like
today. It's like if other bands put this much effort into like their music, like I would be like such a like more of a fan of these other bands. But it's like they seem like they just spit on their audience. Like so many bands I'm into just don't seem like, it's like, all right, go spend $800 on the ticket price, and then here's a $60 vinyl you can get. It's just it's really annoying. And then seeing a band like this like really actually care about their audience is cool.
Yeah, I like it. All right, well, that was 3, right?
Yeah.
Wow, man, if this is really a music discussion program today, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, man, all these guys hitting home runs, bringing out these, except that U2 recommendation, which is a bit questionable because they have played the Sphere,
I'm talking about their airtime on the Contrarians.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And I will say, and they are another band who just tore it up at Red Rocks, releasing the album Under a Blood Red Sky.
Which
More
is
on that.
one of my favorite live albums of all time. I did not ever tell you that, Andrew,
Oh,
but I
it's
played the
amazing.
hell out of that thing.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's an EP, but it's phenomenal.
Well, they call it a mini LP. I mean,
Right.
it's
an EP, but it's great.
I mean, it's pretty long.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully you got something to check out, everybody. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. If you'd like to be on these panels, we would love to have you. We have a Ko-fi. Buy us a pint or a cup of coffee. If you'd like to go one step further, join our Patreon. It's about fun and games here in the Warehouse, and we are here just talking music. That is our whole goal here. So, and this was a perfect show for that. So hopefully you got something out of it. All right, West Coast Dave, Andrew, Lance, and Brandon, I salute you. Great stuff today. I'm sure these gentlemen will be back. So we'll see everybody. Keep it clean, wrap the rascal. You know how it works. We'll see you on the next one.
Brandon, I'm going to go see King Gizzard, man. I'm going to
Go see him. Yeah,
You've
thank you.
inspired him.
I'm planting seeds.
I only want all their microtonal stuff.
I'm glad they're on iTunes or Apple Music because I am going to check out these things. I just actually put a bunch into my little folder here to check it out.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's like, of course, Spotify is the only thing I use. It's like, of course, it's the one place, but
They won't do it. Yep.
Yeah.
whatever.
All right, kids. We'll see you. Thanks again.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Good talk.